Valley MPO to order. If you all would join me in saying the Pledge of Allegiance.
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
You're good. You're good. Thank you. I will now ask if anyone on the committee has any known or perceived conflict of interest with any item on the agenda. If so, that committee member may recuse themselves from voting on that specific matter if they feel they cannot be impartial. We will put their participation up for a vote for the rest of the committee if they feel they can't be impartial. Any conflicts of interest? Seeing and hearing none. Next, we'll move on to public comment. I open it up.
We don't have any, Madam Chair.
Seeing no public comment at this time, thank you. There's another opportunity at the end.
Madam Chair, I'm sorry.
Yes.
Do we need to do a roll call?
Yes, we can do a roll call right now, please.
Yes, Madam
you.
Chair. Trustee Merrick,
Here.
District Engineer Chavarria,
Here.
Trustee Johnson-Burek,
Here.
Commissioner Shawjo Hernandez,
Here.
Councilor McClure,
Here.
Mayor Enriquez,
Here.
Mayor Hernandez,
Here.
Madam Chair.
Here,
Madam Chair, we have a quorum.
thank you. Now that Chris is here. You are the man of the hour. Okay. Man of the half hour? Okay. I would entertain a motion to approve the agenda.
So moved.
Second.
Thank you. It's been moved and seconded, please.
Madam Chair, I apologize. I didn't catch who made the, okay, Councilor McClure.
Councilor McClure, yes.
Thank you,
then
Madam Chair.
Trustee-
This is on the motion to approve the minutes of the meeting of April the 10th. Trustee Merrick,
Yes.
District Engineer Chavarria,
Yes.
Trustee Johnson-Burek,
Yes.
Commissioner Shawjo Hernandez,
Yes.
Councilor McClure,
Yes.
Mayor Enriquez,
Yes.
Mayor Hernandez,
Yes.
Madam Chair.
Yes.
Madam Chair, the motion passes.
Next up, I would entertain a motion to approve the minutes of the April 10th,
I
2020.
apologize, Madam Chair. I announced that as the motion to approve the minutes. My apologies. That was to approve the agenda.
It was,
My
sorry.
hearty apologies to everyone.
Next up are the minutes. Any,
So
would-
moved. Trustee Johnson-Burek.
it's been moved. Is there a second to approve the minutes?
Second, Shawjo Hernandez.
Thank you. Any discussion or notes? Seeing none?
All right, Madam Chair. This is on the motion to approve the minutes of the April 10th meeting. Trustee Merrick,
Yes.
District Engineer Chavarria,
Yes.
Trustee Johnson-Burek,
Yes.
Commissioner Shawjo Hernandez,
Yes.
Councilor McClure,
Yes.
Mayor Enriquez,
Yes.
Mayor Hernandez,
Yes.
Madam Chair.
Yes.
Madam Chair, the motion passes.
Thank you very much. Next, moving on to our action items. First up is the tip, please, Resolution 24-03, amending the 2024 to 29 tip. Mr. Lawyer,
Did you want to do a motion?
I would entertain a motion to approve.
So moved. Trustee Johnson-Burek.
Second, Shawjo Hernandez.
Thank you.
Madam
Please.
Chair, at this time, I would like to introduce Mr. Dominic Loya.
Thank you.
Good afternoon, Madam Chair, members of the Policy Board. So today we are looking at the Transportation Improvement Program for federal fiscal years 2024 to 2029. And this is for the amendments for this quarter. So we have, on this, we will have, all of these will be from Roadrunner Transit. We have TL 00100. It is for federal fiscal year 2024. As I said, it's Roadrunner Transit. It's for their operating section, the 5307 funds. This is a funding change. For federal fiscal year 23 and 24, the funds will be obligated. Then we have in federal fiscal year 24, it'll be an annual increase of 2.1%. The stick amounts will be estimated from the federal fiscal year 24 apportionment data. And this project will have no effect on the performance measures. We then have TL 00110 for federal fiscal year 25. This is for the rolling stock, the 5307 funds. It's also a funding change. It is removal of monies from federal fiscal year 25. This project will have no effect on the performance measures. We have TL00120 for federal fiscal year 2024. This is the capital equipment section with 5307 funds and 5339 funds. This is also a funding change. So it'll be, as I said, federal fiscal year 24, the 5339 funds will be used for furniture for the new facility. This project will have no effect on the performance measures. We have TL00130. This is for federal fiscal year 2026 and 2027. This is for the Maintenance and Operations Center, and it's to move the funding to an out year. All funding will be removed from federal fiscal years 26 and 27. This project will have no effect on the performance measures. We have TL00140 for federal fiscal years 24 and 25. This is the rolling stock section of the 5339 funds. It's a change in funding. It will be amending the federal fiscal year 24 to match actual funding received, and then the removal of the federal fiscal year 25. This project, again, will have no effect on the performance measures. And lastly, we have TL00170 for federal fiscal year 2028. This is for transit facility improvements. This is a change in funding. This is to match the city's capital improvement program and also to add a grant in for a charging station at the Move It Center. This project will have no effect on the performance measures as well. The BPAC did recommend approval at their last meeting. The TAC recommended approval, and we are requesting that Policy Board approve this series of TIP amendments. I will now stand for any comments or questions.
Colleagues, any questions, comments? Nope. All good. Okay. Thank you. Then we can call the vote.
Yes, Madam Chair. This will be for Resolution 24-03, a resolution amending the federal fiscal year 2024 to 2029 Transportation Improvement Program. Trustee Merrick,
Yes.
District Engineer Chavarria,
Yes.
Trustee Johnson-Barrick,
Yes.
Commissioner Shaljo Hernandez,
Yes.
Councilor McClure,
Yes.
Mayor Enriquez,
Yes. Mayor
Hernandez,
Yes.
Madam Chair.
Yes.
Motion passes, Madam Chair.
Thank you. Next up is Resolution 24-04, a resolution prioritizing project proposals for the 2024 New Mexico TPF call for projects.
Madam Chair, I make a motion to approve Resolution 24-04.
Thank you, trustee.
Second, Merrick.
Thank you.
Madam Chair, we had one project this year for the Transportation Improvement Program. It was from Doña County. It's for Elks Drive Multi-Use Trail, and Ms. Sabrina Schrader will be presenting for Doña County.
Good afternoon. Can you hear me? Sabrina Schrader for Doña County Community Development's Advanced Planning Division, and I'll be presenting the Elks Drive Multi-Use Trail Project proposal. We'll begin with the project location map. As you can see, the proposed project is located within Doña County, situated within the Mesilla Valley MPO area and just outside of the Las Cruces city limits. The project site map shows an enlarged view of the proposed project site, highlighting several of the schools and community amenities in the area, including the future El Parque Alegre de Doña Ana. The proposed project can be seen here in the dashed yellow line labeled phase, located between the Columbia Elementary School grounds and the Las Cruces city limits. Once again, it's dashed in yellow. It's that small portion. The objective of this project is to leverage recent investments in the pedestrian connectivity by completing the final portion of the Elks Multi-Use Trail within the community of Doña Ana. The existing trail in the proposed segment will complete the linkage between Doña Ana community and the Las Cruces city limits. The proposed project proposes an additional 935 feet of multi-use trail beginning at Zertuche Lane and ending at the boundary between the Las Cruces city limits and the unincorporated community of Doña. When constructed, this project will contribute to the 1.5-mile-long multi-use trail along Elks Drive, providing pedestrian connectivity to 3 schools, 2 parks, the Doña Cemetery, the fire station, along with access to the commercial corridor on Thorpe Road. This project is supported by various planning documents, including the Plan 2040 Comprehensive Plan, excerpts on active transportation and livability principles 3 through 5, highlight the importance of pedestrian connectivity and how this project proposal is in line with these goals. Supporting statements from the comp plan affirm that the best walking and cycling routes will be via main thoroughfares such as Elks Drive. Supporting documentation from the One Valley, One Vision and the Doña Strategic Plan also supports this as a priority. Excerpts from these documents showcase a significant need to expand pedestrian infrastructure to better serve the community. These plans call for improvement in pedestrian accommodations and acknowledge that 89.9% of respondents agree for better walking and biking trails. Goals also call for the creation and expansion of multi-use trails. A letter of support was secured from Las Cruces Parks and Recreation Department, acknowledging the importance of this project, as well as the ongoing discussions between the city and the county regarding pedestrian connectivity efforts in this area. An additional letter of support was secured from the Las Cruces Public Schools Safe Routes to School program, also recognizing the need for this project. Emphasizing the successful coordination between our entities, widening a narrow sidewalk in front of the Columbia Elementary School grounds in favor of creating a more expansive path for pedestrians, allowing us to focus our efforts in completing this fragmented pedestrian network and boosting connectivity beyond the county. This concludes my presentation, and I will now stand for comments and questions.
Thank you so much. Super exciting. We appreciate it. Are there any comments, questions?
Yes,
Please.
Madam Chair. Yes, question from Mayor Enriquez. Is Zertuche Lane, is that still the name of it, or did
As far as I know, yes, that's still the lane of it. The bottom portion where it's the middle school, I believe that's called Eagle Road, but it's not
Aguila? I
named.
think they just recently had a reveal the name change, and they're gonna, okay, I thought it was eliminating Zertuche.
No, that will still be there.
Okay, all right, thank you, that was it.
Thank you. Any other, please.
Madam Chair, on this phase, what side of Elks will the path be on?
Here, let me go back.
West, I think.
It will be on the side of Columbia Elementary Schools. It's already crossed over, and it'll be continuous on that side.
Okay, so the kids
West.
can cross using the signal to,
It will already be on the same side that the school is on currently.
Okay. Okay, so, because there's development between Elks and the interstate, right there at Engler. So anybody from those neighborhoods cross the signal and get on the path. That's kind of the thought process, or?
Yeah, well, the existing multi-use path does cross over at Taylor, I believe, and it continues down that road, Columbia. So there is a cross, but this portion would not be crossing the road. It would just be continuing and then terminating at the Las Cruces city limits.
All right, thank you. I was just looking at the connectivity of it. I think it's a great project. I think connecting to city facilities and, working that collaboration between entities, I think that's great.
Thank you.
Thank you. Super exciting. Any other questions from folks? And for those of you who are new, just in case next year when this time comes around, typically or sometimes this call for proposals results in a number of submitted proposals, and one of our jobs is to rank them. But in this case, there's just one, and I think it's fabulously collaborative, so it's exciting to hear. And so next year when this comes up, so that you're not like, what's going on? That's what we would be doing today if there were more than one, correct? So just as a heads up.
Yes, Madam Chair, this is Andrew Ray for the record. Yes, last year, members of the board who were here will remember that we had actually a project proposal from each one of our
Thank
member
you.
jurisdictions that then had to be ranked. So this year, we only had the one, so staff's asking for that one to, for the blessing of the board to go ahead and submit that to DOT, but if we had received multiple, those would have to be ranked in a priority order.
All right. Thank you so much. Thank you for your presentation. I think we can call the question, please.
All right, Madam Chair, this one is on Resolution 24-04, a resolution prioritizing proposals for the 2024 New Mexico Transportation Project Fund Call for Projects. Trustee Merrick,
Yes.
District Engineer Chavarria,
Yes.
Trustee Johnson-Berg,
Yes.
Commissioner Shaljo Hernandez.
Yes.
Councilor McClure,
Yes.
Mayor Enriquez,
Yes.
Mayor Hernandez,
Yes.
Madam Chair.
Yes.
Motion passes, Madam Chair.
Thank you. Next up, we'll move on to discussion items. For item 8.1, the Title VI Plan Update, please. It's not that easy for me to read Roman numerals off the cuff, but I think I got it.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Dominic Loya for MPO staff. I will be presenting this as well. So it is the time of, that time again to go ahead and update our Title VI plan. So in this, with the discussion item, we will just be going through basically the legality of the Title VI plan. There were a few changes that were made. So there were 4 new sections added, and we will go ahead and cover that next time when you are voting on it as to what those 4 sections added in, but they were added in. They are NMDOT requirements, so we did follow those requirements. Historically, the Title VI plan was with the public participation plan. The public participation plan, though, is only renewed once every 5 years. NMDOT wanted, the new guidelines wanted it once every 3 years. So the Title VI plan is based off the Civil Rights Act of 1964. It's 49 CFR Part 2. The Title VI plan is also available on the MPO website under core documents, and the draft was included in your packet. Where you'll see Title VI on most documents is on our agendas as well as the packets. The Mississippi Valley MPO does not discriminate on the basis of race, religion, sex, sexual orientation, gender identity, color, ancestry, serious medical condition, national origin, age, or disability in the provision of services. So where these come from, we have the Civil Rights Act of 1964, which prohibits discrimination based on race, color, and national origin. The Federal Highway Aid Act of 1973, which prohibits discrimination based on sex. We have the Age Discrimination Act of 1975, which prohibits discrimination based on age. We also have Section 504 of the Rehabilitation Act of 1973, as amended, prohibits discrimination on the basis of disability, as well as the Americans with Disability Act of 1990. So this is also another part that you will see on all of our agendas. The Mississippi Valley MPO will make reasonable accommodations for qualified individuals who wish to attend this public meeting. Please notify the Mississippi Valley MPO at least 48 hours before the meeting by calling 528-3043 or 1-800-659-8331 if accommodations are necessary. This document can be made available in alternative formats by calling the same numbers as listed above, and we do also have that in Spanish. And this document will also be available in Spanish. So we have, we have 49 CFR Part 21, which is entitled Non-Discrimination in Federally Assisted Programs for the Department of Transportation, effectuation of Title VI of the Civil Rights Act of 1964. We have 49 CFR Part 27, Non-Discrimination on the basis of disability in programs or activities receiving federal financial assistance. 49 CFR Part 28, enforcement of non-discrimination on the basis of handicapped in programs or activities conducted by the Department of Transportation. 49 CFR Part 37, entitled Transportation Services for Individuals with Disability. We have 23 CFR Part 200, FHWA's Title VI Non-Discrimination Regulation. We have 28 CFR Part 35, Discrimination on the Basis of Disability in State and Local Government Services. There's also the Uniform Relocation Assistance and Real Property Acquisitions Policy Act of 1970, as amended, the National Environmental Policy Act of 1969, 28 CFR Part 53.3, Department of Justice Guidelines on the Enforcement of Title VI of the Civil Rights Act of 1964. This is for environmental justice. Through the public involvement efforts, the MPO will strive to achieve the following Title VI and environmental justice goals: to avoid, minimize, mitigate disproportionately high and adverse human health and environmental effects, including social and economic effects on minority populations and low-income populations. To ensure the full and fair participation by all potential affected communities in the transportation decision-making process, and to prevent the denial of, reduction in, or significant delay in the receipt of benefits by minorities and low-income populations. So this has been open for public comment. It will be an action item on May 21st at BPAC. June 6th, it will be a TAC action item, and we will close public comment after TAC. And then on June 12th, it will be before you, the policy board, as an action item. I will now stand for any comments or questions.
Thank you very much, Mr. Loya. Any comments or questions from the board? Seeing and hearing none, thank you. So we'll be voting on that next month. Next up is the Unified Planning Work, the UPWP. I'm going to start to use the shortened things now that I know them. The Unified Planning Work Program for federal fiscal years 2025 and 2026. Please.
Madam Chair, Mr. Andrew Ray will be presenting this.
Yes, join the dark side, Madam Chair. Use the acronyms. Confuse everybody. This is Andrew Ray for the record on behalf of MPO staff to present on the federal fiscal year 2025 to 2026 Unified Planning Work Program, or UPWP. The Unified Planning Work Program, it's a 2-year document that outlines the transportation planning activities specifically to be conducted by MPO staff as tied to the MPO's fiscal budget. In a number of respects, this is the document via which the policy board exercises its, I guess, overall guidance and control of the activities of MPO staff alongside allocation of the MPO's financial resources, both tied to the federal categories where the feds, how that's allocated amongst the various MPO activities, as well as how the PL funds specifically are included within the City of Las Cruces' budget as our MPO fiscal agent. The current UPWP is the federal fiscal year 2023 to 2024 UPWP. That one went into effect on October the 1st of 2022. And this UPWP proposal that I am discussing today must be adopted by June of 2024, so next month's meeting. The most dominant project or activity that MPO staff anticipates undertaking during certainly the first year of the UPWP is going to be the Metropolitan Transportation Plan. We are working on that currently, and we have a deadline of the middle of next year, so most of the way through federal fiscal year 2025. That is going to be an ever-increasing part of MPO staff's activities going forward through the rest of this calendar year and through the first half of next year. Other than that, though, MPO staff does not propose any significant line item modifications for the 2025 to 2026 UPWP. We did not, unlike the last UPWP or the current UPWP that we're operating under, where we reconfigured a number of the task items, we moved them around under the various subheadings. MPO staff is not proposing to engage in any of that this time, where staff is satisfied with the way that the UPWP is organized currently. Getting this into the dollar amounts, I want to caution everyone at the outset, These are tentative dollar amounts for the FHWA Section 112 money that's listed under the first two lines. I have every reason to believe that it will be something like those $2 amounts, but it may be slightly different, a couple of dollars up or down for those two. We are scheduled to receive about $4,000, $4,600 more in Section 112 funding compared to federal fiscal year 2024. And also, I will again highlight, as I have been doing these past couple of years, the FHWA 112 money, the $9,586, that is 100% federally reimbursed. So the city of Las Cruces reimburses the federal government for 100% of that dollar amount. The biggest caveat that I have is for the Section 5303 FTA, our transit planning money. I have as of yet not received the projected dollar amounts for federal fiscal year 2025. I had hoped that I would have a tentative dollar amount to present today. Unfortunately, I do not. So the dollar amount that I entered into the into the draft that's present in the packet today, that's our funding level for federal fiscal year 2024 that I have rolled forward. I do have every reason to think that by the time that the board actually considers this action or as an action item at next month's meeting, I will have those 5303 dollar amount projections for federal fiscal year 2025. Additionally, since the UPWP is a 2-year document, MPO staff did utilize our 2025 dollar amounts to project for federal fiscal year 2026. However, it is standard practice, and those of you who have been with us for several years at this point will be well aware, it is an annual ritual come the October policy board meeting that we need to conduct an annual adjustment of the UPWP to get the dollar amounts in the UPWP in line with what our actual allocations are. So that is going to continue. That is just how this works. Like I said, we will be bringing this for action at the June policy board meeting. That is our deadline by which this must be adopted. And I do anticipate having updated dollar amounts for, probably not for the Section 112. I expect that we won't get any additional clarification on that estimate until late September, but I do anticipate having an estimated dollar amount for the 5303 monies. And with that, I will stand for any questions.
Seeing none, thank you. I think we're good to go. Next up on the agenda are board updates. I look to the board first. I'll start at the end. No updates from anyone on the board? All right, Mr. Chaviera, please.
Madam Chair, members of the policy board, the US 70 project, Main Street project, we're still looking at completion October of this year. It's progress is going good. It's on time and on schedule. The US 70 project, Main Street project, Main Line project, resurfacing east of the interstate to NASA Road. We are currently, they're working at nights. They're doing some roadside barrier, guardrail, some concrete curb and gutter. The resurfacing portion, we're probably looking at late this month or early June to begin that. And then our landscape project on I-25 Loman exit, we're almost done with it. We should be done by early June as well on that project. And that's all the updates I have. So I stand for any questions anybody has.
Thank you. Any questions from folks on the board?
Madam Chair, I
Please.
actually do. When will the Chaparral,
404?
the 404, thank you, be finished? I mean, it looks wonderful. I would just, yeah.
Yeah. So our New Mexico 404 project, it's going to be complete this month. In the next few weeks, they're pretty close to wrapping everything up.
Yeah, it's really, really nice. I've had to drive it a couple of times in the last couple of weeks, and it's like, wow. So, yeah.
It's amazing and considerably less terrifying, no?
Yes, exactly.
So,
Yeah, and then since you brought that one up, the New Mexico 213, there from the roundabout to the Texas state line, we're going to continue that same typical. We're going to 4-lane 213 there from the roundabout to the Texas state line, and that project should be starting. It'll go to bid late next year, and then on the Texas side, they're going to start their connection to that same point there at the state line around the same time, so it'll be busy.
that will also be less terrifying because that's the second part that's like taking your life in your hands. It's amazing how many people pass illegally. Yes. So thank you. Thank you for sharing. Any other questions? Please, Mayor Enriquez.
Yes, thank you, Madam Chair. I just wanted to say on the landscape on Loman that it is looking very good. Thank you very much.
You're welcome, Mayor.
It looks great, for sure. Thank you. Next up, Mr. Ray, please.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Two things that I want to discuss with the board this afternoon. First of all, you'll see we have the storyboards here. The MTP public comment process is still ongoing. We have wrapped up all of our scheduled in-person public engagement meetings for the first round. The last meeting that we have for the first round is the BPAC work session, which is going to be on the 21st, the evening of the 21st. I will admit we have not had a whole lot of public turnout at our meetings, but we have had a decent amount of public engagement digitally online. We've received a number of comments online. That's definitely been by far and away the forum via which that we've gotten the most engagement so far. So we are definitely taking note of that, and we'll be incorporating, I guess, more elements of that going forward as we move into the second and third rounds of public engagement, kind of anticipating that the digital footprint is probably going to continue to be increasingly significant as time passes as far as soliciting and receiving public engagement. However, we're still available in person, so if anybody wishes to speak with us, we're more than happy to do so. We are currently in the process of setting up stakeholder meetings with the City of Las Cruces staff, Doña County, and Town of Mesilla, to discuss the MTP with them as well. We're also going to be meeting with BLM. I believe we have the BLM meeting scheduled, or we're working on it at least. We're also trying to get connections made within MSU to discuss items of interest down there. We're also going to be working with EBID as a stakeholder as part of this process as well. So I anticipate, though, that by the end of this month to early June, we will be closing down the first round of public engagement and finishing up the stakeholder meetings by mid to late June. I'll spend most of the summertime doing the actual composition of the first draft of the document. I had originally, I know I said optimistically that we might start the next round of public engagement in September. Realistically speaking, given other things that I'm going to mention here in a couple minutes, I think it's probably going to be more like October before we have the draft ready for review by the public. So does anybody have any questions about the MTP process? Okay. The other item of significance is, of course, the ongoing MPO transition process. I can assure the board that there is a lot of activity going on with regards to that. But again, we're still at a point where it would not be appropriate for me to discuss the specific points of discussion between ourselves and the city on the record at this time. So, but we are, the chair can vouch for me, we are working very hard and actively on this item, and I do certainly have a very strong hope and expectation that I will be able to go into some detail at a presentation on this topic at the June meeting. We don't meet in July, and August is quite possibly going to be too late. A bunch of things will be done by then, so I certainly hope to be in a position to be able to make a presentation in June. So given the understanding that I can't really answer any questions, does anybody have any questions? Thank you. That's everything for me, Madam Chair.
Seeing none, thank you. Thank you. Moving on, we have a second round of possible public comment. I look to Mr. Cervanek, and I can call you out straight from the audience as a public person. Thank you for being here. I always appreciate your presence. Seeing no public comment, I do just want to give a quick note that I won't be at the June meeting, so I'm hoping Commissioner Shaljo Hernandez can fill in for me. Thank you. But just as a heads up, I won't be here for that action-packed, no doubt, meeting that will be happening in June. I would entertain a motion to adjourn.
So moved. Shalder Hernandez.
Second. Trustee Johnson Beer.
Thank you very much. It's been moved and seconded to adjourn.